Hello, this is Brian. Today is Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. I am at the east end of Marian R. Bear Memorial Natural Park, which covers a large chunk of San Clemente Canyon. So I'm at the part of the canyon where California 52 and Interstate 805 freeways meet. And we're going to start going up a use trail up the side there. Just decided that it wasn't worth it. I've done it once before, years ago. It leads up this really steep trail that takes you up to the ridge line, and it looks like now poison oak is taking up a lot of that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to a trail junction, because this is supposed to lead up towards Limerick Avenue, which is in the Claremont Mesa area. And it's right near where Claremont Mesa Boulevard is, the area where I grew up. So I'm walking through here. I'm going to go back to that junction there, or another junction that leads up towards the ridge line up there where I want to go and check out the chaparral. There's a nice little area of coastal chaparral up there that looks very enticing. So I'm coming back. Went up part way, decided the poison oak was a little too close for my comfort, so I decided not to go for it. Here we are. This is it right here, western poison oak. And then we got Palmer sagewort right here. Here's a rare native endemic. This is Artemisia palmeri. And it's starting to get its flower buds. And the flower buds look similar, but in larger scale, to California sagebrush. You're not tripping. They're close relatives. They're both in the genus Artemisia. So that's Palmer sagewort. It is closely related to the sagebrushes. It is an Artemisia. And this part of the canyon seems to host quite a bit of it. So we're right near the junction of 805 and 52. There's a trail that goes up this ridge here, and that's the one I'm going to go back to. I was going to originally go up that way, but I, for some reason, forgot to bear right at the junction. So I ended up going this way, which you can take it to get up to the ridge over up that way still. And actually, last time I was up there back in 2014, quite a few years ago, there were some interpretive displays towards the end of the mesa near the edge of Claremont's neighborhood. People put up plaques of the species of chaparral shrubs growing there. So the last time I went up there I went up that very steep use trail, very rutted, very steep in spots. The way I'm going to go up is actually I'm going to go backtrack and go back to that trail junction and make a hard left, and then the trail that goes up the ridge should be pretty obvious. So should be able to get up there. That's a pretty steep one too. Just take your time going up it. Pretty steep. Coming down, you're gonna have to be careful. But you get up closer towards the Claremont neighborhood, there's a pocket of coastal chaparral up there. It's quite neat to look at. And there are some more endemic plants up there too. So I'm going to go backtrack to that trail junction, because there's a branch of the trail that'll lead you up towards Conrad Avenue, and it leads out right next to a middle school called Creative Performing Media Arts, which used to be known as Ray A. Kroc Middle School. And right before I moved to Orange County in my 7th grade year, I spent about a semester of my 7th grade year going to what used to be Ray A. Kroc Middle School, right up there on Conrad. near Regina Street, and the trail will lead up right past the fence, right near the fence where the edge of the school grounds lie. So like I said, I spent my first semester of my 7th grade year going to what used to be Ray A. Kroc Middle School, and that has been changed years ago to Creative Performing Media Arts. It's still a middle school. I'm guessing it's probably still grade 7 and 8. It was grade 7 and 8 when I went there. So you can go up that way to get to Conrad Avenue, and it'll lead you on one of those telephone or electrical power line right-of-way right up to right past the gates of the school, and right up to the surface streets. So should be coming up on that junction pretty soon, not too much later. So we'll go up there and see how the chaparral's doing, because there are quite a few species up there worth checking out. Some of them are quite narrow endemic species, or varieties of more broadly distributed species as well. So it's a pretty interesting study in local ecology, local chaparral and coastal sage scrub vegetation. As you start off at the base, mostly in coastal sage scrub, and then it grades away into chaparral as you gain the ridge. Yeah, it's the ridge right up here. And some pretty neat stuff to be found along there. So let's go ahead and see if I can backtrack. Like I said, I was just going to go up. I was just going to go up the ridge that way. Then I saw how close some of the poison oak was getting. I don't remember being that closely encroached last time. So I went up that way in December 2014. It was pretty neat. I think there was patches of really lush scrub oaks up there. So we'll see. So this will probably be the first of many times coming back to this canyon. This is a canyon I grew up in many times. I remember one time I was talking about that school used to be called Ray A. Kroc Middle School. I remember one of my teachers and her teacher aide led us off campus during her class period and led us down that trail. Like I said, there's a power line right away, right next to the school campus, and we went through and we went down to the bottom of the canyon. We got to about here. I mean, here's the trail split right here. So I guess I've already come in a mile deep already. So we're going to start heading this way. You can see here Limerick Avenue, as you go up, you go around, you go up that real steep use trail, leads you to the mesa top, and then a series of trails leads you to the cul-de-sacs of streets, and this will lead you to Conrad Avenue, where the Creative Performing Media Arts, aka Ray A. Kroc, is located. So this one goes up to Conrad. This one goes to Regina. Regina, I believe, crosses, if I remember correctly, crosses it. But see, what I'm going to do is this is the trail that's going to lead up the ridge. So it's going to be time for some huffing and puffing. It's not like a severe elevation gain, but it's pretty steep. So just be aware that it will give you a pretty steep workout. So I've been up this way a few times, and it's going to start out through some coastal sage scrub, and stuff like that. Let's see. Never filmed the hike up this before, so this is the first time I've done this on video. A little poison oak on the side there, so just watch your step. A lot more intrusive the first spot I was going to go up. See the erosion of the marine sedimentary soil. It's very common here in the mesas of San Diego. These mesas are basically marine terraces that gradually lead up to the top of these mesas. A series of spots that rose up from higher sea level back in the day. So as you can see here, pretty steep climb, but just take your time, don't rush it. There's a lot to see up here. So like I said, starting off in coastal sage scrub down here. Eventually, get higher up, start running into more chaparral. So here we got our California sagebrush, Genesee californica, laurel sumac, Malosma laurina, eventually we're going to start getting into some interesting stuff. Well, not the sage scrub isn't, but it's going to get even more interesting as we continue climbing up this trail. And we start getting some views starting to open up and a breeze. So that's the main San Clemente trail down there in the bottom. Leads back towards Genesee Avenue. There's the power line right away I was talking about. It's going to lead to Conrad Avenue, and it's going to go right near where the middle school is. In fact, I can see some of the landscape trees from the middle school from here. Remember, there's a lot of eucalyptus trees on the edges of the campus when I was a kid. Alright. So a lot of loose cobbles, so just watch your step, be careful. Another coastal sage scrub plant. Rhus integrifolia, lemonade sumac or lemonade berry. Now the trail's going to start easing up. This appears to be a hybrid between black and white sage. Structurally, it's intermediate between the two. Shorter in stature like the black sage, but the inflorescences stick way out, and the leaves kind of have a grayish coloration like the white sage. But the size is closer to a black sage looks like. So, again, Salvia apiana slash mellifera, white and black sage respectively. I told you the interesting factor was just going to keep going up. And you hear? Coast barrel cactus. Phaerocactus viridescens. And there's a little yellowish green flower there on the top. So this plant is a highly protected native of our coastal sage scrub up here. So I know there are a lot of people who poach them, take them home, try to grow them in their gardens. I've been able to order seeds online. I believe you can still order seeds online, so please don't dig them out of the ground. Because with the loss of the coastal sage scrub habitat that has gone on over the last 150 years or so, it's making those plants quite a bit rarer. So don't, by any means, dig them out of the ground and take them home. Try to order the seeds online. I've been able to. I didn't really have much luck with the seeds, but if you can order them online, that's what I would do. So now, as we climb up, we're now entering the chaparral, as I had promised. As we climb up higher. So now we're coming into scrub oak territory. And the taxonomy of the scrub oaks here might be a little confusing, but I believe Quercus acutidens and Quercus dumosa are the two most likely candidates up here. Here's our next rare endemic. They call it coast lilac, or San Diego lilac, or wart stem ceanothus. This is Ceanothus verrucosus. This is not, it's locally common where it's native, like this area, coastal to near coastal foothills, not super far inland. And in the spring, it gets panicles of, well, it gets clusters of white flowers. This is Ceanothus verrucosus. Ceanothus verrucosus. And you see the leaves are roughly oval. And there's a little notch there on a lot of them. And it has these little warty stipules. And that's why they call it wart stem ceanothus. And it's very similar to and closely related to another species called big pod ceanothus, or big pod lilac, and that'd be Ceanothus megacarpus. And I believe they have hybridized near Laguna Niguel, where I believe there might be hybrids of those there. But here it should be all verrucosus. That's another rare find. You have to be in the right area. It's more of the scrub oak. The ones with the fuzziest leaves underneath should be Quercus dumosa. The other ones will probably be a Quercus acutidens. And of course, Mission manzanita, another relatively local endemic, scattered from northern Baja, through San Diego and southwestern Riverside County, maybe far southern Orange County, and one spot in the Verdugo Mountains, just south of the San Gabriel Mountains in Los Angeles County near Burbank. This is Xylococcus bicolor. And these are what the drupes look like. Well, I'm gonna be running out of power soon, so I'm gonna see you on clip number 2. Clip number 2, I should be pretty close to the ridge line.